Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. It's great to be with you on a gorgeous Tuesday across Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, and the world on the I Love CVille network. We're going to spotlight a fabulous businessman, a fabulous family man, a fabulous entrepreneur with dreams to build a business of epic proportions. Dino will join us in a matter of moments. You may know him from the Brick Oven. I know him as someone who's passionately committed to making Charlottesville and Central Virginia a better place for all of us in the community. We will spotlight his journey on the program and welcome him to the show in a matter of 60 seconds. Before we do, let's thank some of the sponsors that make the program possible. I Love CVille and VMV Brands. We are an advertising agency. We build brands. We take them to different levels, guys. Two of our favorite clients, Interstate Pest and Service Companies and Dr. Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Let's start with Interstate Pest and Service Companies. This business started in 1969 with one man, a personal truck, and a dream to build a company. Mr. Robert Wells in 1969 said, I'm going to build a company. He used his personal vehicle and payphones across Charlottesville, Virginia to build the company. Today, Interstate Pest and Service Companies has 4 generations of family, almost 100 employees, and a footprint that is the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's entrepreneurial stories like that that give me goosebumps because they do it the right way. Interstate Pest and Service Companies, just like Dr. Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, whether it's physical therapy, chiropractic care, or sports medicine, Dr. Wagner and his team of doctors and chiropractic assistants are changing people's lives. Judah Wickower, you are the director of this spaceship. My friend, let's go to the studio cam. Let's welcome Dino to the show. How are you? How are you? How are you?
I am doing fabulous.
You look sharp.
Thank you, sir.
I love the jacket. I love connecting with you.
I appreciate
He brought
it.
so much food, so much delicious food that we're going to enjoy here as a team after this program. Before we get into anything, I want to know what makes Dino tick.
Well, my name is Dino Hoxhaj.
Uh-huh.
I was born and raised in Kosovo,
Okay.
Southeast Europe, Albanian descent. I actually lived in Berlin, Germany for 5 years before I moved to a wonderful town, Charlottesville, which is, I call home now. And
I love it.
I have 2 boys. I have my lovely wife that she helps in the restaurant too.
It's amazing.
So we took over a brick oven like 2 years ago. And with the hard work and the support of this great community, we have taken it to the next level. And it's just that we keep growing. And then it's just, it's hard to describe with words how grateful every day I am for being part of the community and cooking all this lovely food for like all these lovely people out there.
I love that answer. Great first answer.
Thank you.
Childhood in Kosovo.
Well, I come from a background of families with bakers,
Okay.
So I can trace it down all the way probably in the late 1800s. So they were always in the bakery business in the whole region. My family, my siblings have bakeries around former Yugoslavia, in Kosovo, in Bosnia. So I left that industry, migrated to Germany for different opportunities because of the turmoils that used to be in former Yugoslavia in the 90s. But my roots called me back again, so I just, I cannot get away from the dough and then flipping pizzas.
I love it. I love it. Childhood. Good childhood? Tough
Childhood was great. It was
Yeah.
tough. It was different back then. You know?
How so?
It was different because we have less, but we were happier. So we were very happy. We would play outdoors, and it was different. But after, like, in my teens, it was, like, a lot of turmoils and a lot of, like, civil war and stuff like that. It wasn't very great. But my late teens in Germany was kind of greater, like a teenager, like roaming around through Berlin and with friends and stuff like that. So that was my second place, but this is a place I call home. This is where I settled, and I'm not migrating anywhere else anymore.
We have one of my buddies watching the program, and Dave Henry. He's watching in Fairfield, Connecticut right now. We have literally 4 different states, Charlottesville, Albemarle, Louisa, and Orange watching right now. We're live on 12 Facebook pages. Dave Henry, who's watching in Fairfield, his wife is South African. You compared your situation growing up in Kosovo to what happened in South Africa.
Correct.
Give us the perspective.
Well, the perspective was like in Kosovo, 90% of population is Albanian, but 10% is Serbian. So the Serbian population is just like the whites and blacks on the apartheid on South Africa. So the majority was repressed, not having the right to go to school for higher education in their own native language and pursuing their daily lives. It was to be done. It was supposed to be done through. It was a communist era, and then it was very like repressed. And then the newer generations got higher education, and then explored the world differently. And there was uprising for the better rights. And then all through the 1990s, it was like civil war, sporadic like fighting. And then in the 1998, that's where the real war started. It was like a Kosovo Liberation Army was formed. And then with the backing of the NATO alliance, they bombarded Serbia and liberated Kosovo since then. And then I am grateful for the people and all the taxpayers of America. The bombs were dropped there with the taxpayers' money of this country to liberate 2 million people, which they were living on tents and like countless like enclaves and escaping the persecution and all the war, like all the war would bring. The war that brings only destruction. So
you are cosmopolitan. You've seen the world.
I did.
You speak 5 languages.
Correct.
I am the opposite of that. I want you to educate me. What is it like living in a country? You clearly are an entrepreneur, right? What is it like living in a country where 10% of the population controls the other 90% of the population?
It's the toughest part as a child to have, and then I'll kind of like develop that why the world has to be this way. And with the support of greater powers and the sacrifice, there come better change. So the change came through the channels back then of the TV and reporters like you bringing the story up and people like standing up for the good thing. And I hope it will never ever happen again down there in Balkans, but anywhere in the world. Everybody is born free and they should live their life in the free way they want to live it.
Amen, brother. I'll throw this to you. Do you ever think about this? I think about this all the time. How lucky, let's take your boys, okay? Your boys are 12 and 7.
Correct.
Live in America.
Yes, sir.
Sons of entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Sons of business owners. Your 2 boys, the world is their oyster.
Yep.
My mom grew up in Cuba. She and Mima and Papi, my grandparents, had to migrate from Cuba a few months before Castro took over Cuba and implemented his communist regime in Cuba. Mima and Papi, my grandparents, went to my mom around midnight when she was in the 3rd grade and said, "You have 15 minutes to pack everything that you can fit in your backpack. We're going to take a barge, a boat, and we're going to go from Cuba, where we're a middle-class, upper-class lifestyle, to Miami, Florida, where Papi was a ditch digger and Mima was a hotel maid, because Mima and Papi were the type of people that Castro was murdering to be a communist dictator in their homeland. So they went from a nice life to, lack of a better phrase, a shitty life in Miami, because they left their house, their money, their possessions, their family, everything, to try to start a new life. And eventually, they built it. And that's the American dream. So where I'm going with this is, do you ever think about how lucky it is for some people like myself, born in the country, your boys, as opposed to the situation you were born into?
Well, my kids ask me all the time, Dad, what kind of cell phone you had when you were little? I said, we had a black and white TV, and they had 2 channels, and we had to bang it sometimes on the side because it would capture everything. And then when it was like cartoons and news, but we didn't have much of that. I mean, the world has evolved in technology so long. But if my kids, like you're talking about your grandparents leaving there, and that's what you are the
First generation American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by taking you seeing your show now and the growth, that's what I want to see to my kids. I want to pave the road so they can have a success life, and they can like build this country and every new generation. So this melting pot of the world is like, that's what makes this country great. And no matter what people say, this is dream, a never-ending dream. It's not going to be anybody can change. No person can change this, because this is the engine that is the heart of the world. That's what I call it. It pumps blood through the whole body and is the engine of the world. Without America, world always will be different.
Did you feel that America, when you were growing up, was the place you always wanted to go to?
Yes.
Why?
I just had a feeling that one day I will be living in America.
How come?
It just like it was implemented in my mind since I was 14 that one day I'm going to live in America.
How was America perceived for kids where you grew up in?
Well, looking at all the movie industry and everything, and then the possibilities, and reading stories of other people like being like very like outcast or being something very low on the family, and then reaching the highest level of anything you can be. That's what makes the country different again. And I have a term that I use all the time. When I lived in Germany, and I'm not trying to say I lived there, they sheltered me as a war refugee, and I'm grateful. But they always were asking when I go for an extension of the visa and stuff, they say, when are you leaving? It's peaceful there. And then they were asking me, like, when I came to America, everybody was concerned, how do I feel? How do I like it here? So I was welcome before I even been asked. So you're already part of it. When people ask you, it's the same question, but it's the same approach with two different questions. So why are you here, and how do you like it here? It's totally different approach. So when people approach you and see like you're just a fresh out of the boat, like I used to say in the old days, and then people welcome you and say like, hey, how do you like here? And you say, I love it, and I appreciate you, thank you for being here. And every day when people come to the restaurant and say like, thank you for the wonderful food, even though they pay for it, and thank you for being here, that's what makes our everyday blessing.
And on top of that, Dino, you know what? You're just a cool MFer. You're a cool dude.
Thank you, man.
You have a zest for life that I find contagious. As soon as you walked into our studio, I felt a positive energy that I was like magnetized to.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I sincerely, authentically mean that.
I believe you. I believe you.
Let me throw this. Do you think, when you look at where you have now, a business owner, and guys, we're going to break a little bit of news here later in the show. This fine businessman is about to open a second location. Well, I'll let him say those details. Before we get to that, let me throw this question to you. How proud of your parents? How proud is your family?
My mom is so proud that I made it here, and I visit my family very frequently. Now with new technology, we talk every day. And at the beginning, when I start, just through very well supported Tony Farrow, he's the owner of Michael's Diner.
Yep.
He made it possible for me to get in the brick oven because he's a friend of mine, and he sold the brick oven and worked out through the pricing that I could reach to get the brick oven from him. And he believed in me that I can take it to the next level. So he is a very dear friend of mine and great person. So
we have a ton of people watching. Let's thank some of the people that are watching. And you're going to have to help me with some of these names.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
First, let's go to the I Love CVille page. Amber Rexrod, she says, we love you, Dino. This is from Jake, Amber, and Brian.
Yes, they have...
Mosquito Squad.
Yeah, Mosquito Squad.
Yeah.
If you want your stink bugs to go away from you, call them. They'll be right at your door.
Kevin Higgins says 5 languages. Oh my God, that's so impressive. I can't even tell you the 5 different flavors of Doritos. Dino, you're a rock star.
Thank you.
Give it a like and a share on any of the streams that you're watching. We have folks on your stream that are, and I would imagine they're watching in a number of different countries. Gio Wasung. Am I saying his last name right?
Yes.
He says, well done, Dino.
Gio lives in Crozet. He is used to be a customer at Far Downers. Gio is the man. I love him. I love his family.
Help me with that name right there.
Which one?
That one right there. Starts with a B.
Besima Krasnici, she's an Albanian lady. She lives here in Charlottesville. She works at Whole Foods. She's my ex-co-worker and very close friend.
She says, well done, Dino. Met says, proud of you, cuz. Watching right now. Burim, am I saying Burim's name right now? Well done, Dino. Bravo.
Yeah.
Fet, am I saying Fet right? Shout out to you, Dino.
That is from Myanmar, and they used to work together. She is awesome lady, and she is working for nonprofits. I'm not sure what she does now, but she's missionary for some nonprofit somewhere in Asia.
Destiny Trochet.
Destiny
right?
Trochet.
Go, Dino. So freaking proud of you, baby.
She's my friend, and she comes and helps me all the time, and she's from Redford off. She comes and helps me in the restaurant anytime.
Diddle, am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's my nephew. He has a pizzeria and a bakery in Kosovo. He's my nephew.
He's watching in Kosovo right now?
Yep.
Look at that. This is the power of social media when used positively. Jay Wyatt, welcome, baby. He's watching in Keswick. Kevin Higgins, I'm going to get to your question. Everett Anderson, welcome to the program. A lot of folks watching right now. What does it make you feel like when these people jump on the show? We're live on 12 Facebook pages, and they are giving you props. They have your back. They have positive things to say about you.
It makes me feel like slowly to take the brick oven of my brand national.
Oh, should we talk right now? Second location?
Second location, it's still thinking of.
Okay.
I don't want to jump very fast because, you have to go slowly. So
Sure.
not to get too excited about it, because sometimes learning from other investors and other entrepreneurs, you don't have to you have to
Pump the
taste
brakes.
water.
Go slow.
Correct.
Okay.
But I am surging, and more likely around spring next year. Hopefully, we'll come another time in your show, and then we can announce.
Anytime you want.
Is it going to be brick oven, or is it going to be another concept that is going to have a blast in this town?
Spring 2020, Dino's opening a second spot. Hemi says, bravo, Dino. Maki, I'm sorry if I'm messing these names up. Bravo,
Bennetts,
Dino.
yes. Maki owns his landscaping and construction business. He's from Bosnia. He's a great customer of mine, a dear friend, supportive, and very great family person.
Kevin Higgins, we will get to this question. A number of questions coming in. Let me throw this to you. Do your kids, your boys, I have an 18-month-old. When I had my son and I watched my son come out of my wife in the hospital at Martha Jefferson, my life changed forever. It's given me perspective that I never had prior to my kid being born. Your sons, do they appreciate what you've gone through to get to this point?
They love it. Let me tell you the story.
Please.
When my first son, Aaron, was born, there was not a lot of, it was Saturday night, it was football game, or it was some sport event at UVA. I was working for a college inn back then in 2007, so I didn't have cover up to cover my shift. I worked until 2 a.m. back then at the college in 2007, and then got like 18 pizzas for the whole staff at the hospital. That's how excited I was when my son was born. So I bought 18 pizzas from College Inn and took up to the whole level. On the 6th floor, I think, was the birth center there. And then I took pizzas for all of them. And then they told me to go to the waiting room because my wife was with her mom and her sister on the room. She was in labor and everything. So I was so tired. I went in the break room. I worked for 14 hours a day at the College Inn, double shift. And I tried to fall asleep, and the nurse came and got me and said, the baby's there. And for the first time I saw the baby, that's it. It just the whole world spun around me. My life changed to 360 degrees.
I love them. Tell them, Dino, something about your bakery tradition. We want to hear, and he's touched on this. This is from Matt. Give him the background of what your family has done from a bakery standpoint.
My family has used wood fire ovens, and the whole region is called Has in the southeast, in the South Kosovo. There are bakers all over Europe that come from that region, from all over Balkans. We're talking about from Czech Republic to Hungary to Croatia and Serbia and Macedonia and and Kosovo especially. Everybody's so passionate about baking that these bakers have taken the whole Europe from the whole new perspective. And they're all entrepreneurs.
Did you know once you got bakery in your blood and you got kind of food service in your blood as a kid, as a family, did you know the restaurant was your game moving forward?
Yeah, well, as a child, I wanted to be working for NASA. In my childhood, I thought, I'm going to move to America.
You wanted to work for NASA?
Yeah.
How did you, tell me about that.
Well, that was just
Was it a
dream.
movie? Was it a movie that did it?
Yeah.
Which movie? Was it Apollo 13?
Yeah.
It was Apollo 13?
Yes, it was Apollo 13.
Okay, so you wanted to be an astronaut?
I wanted to work for NASA. I had a fear to probably think of go out of space, but I wanted to work in a NASA facility. In my mind, imaginary.
I love it.
So I didn't know what, I knew it's not going to be possible. But now I'm 39, and then I don't know, if my business grows, I can support NASA for their new projects probably.
I love it. That's right, baby. As an entrepreneur, we can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
You put the work in. I feel like the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Exactly.
Throw that to you.
Yes.
Throw me this topic here. When did you get to America?
2003. So I met my lovely wife, Rena, and then I moved
Tell me
here.
how you guys met.
Well, she came through with her family. She came through IRC, the International Rescue Community, which was found from Einstein. So Einstein, when I came here to visit, and Einstein actually moved from the persecution of the German Nazi with Albanian passport, fake Albanian passport, and he came to America. So when I found that story, it was fascinating. And just to throw this out, I'm not trying to mix now the business entrepreneurs with the politics, but this is a show is all about.
Yeah, anything you want.
It's the only country in Europe that had more Jews after World War II than had before the World War II. because Albanians were saving the Jews and keep them hiding them in their basement and their houses and not giving up to the Germans.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And there are stories and books all about it.
How did you charm your wife? When did you meet her for the first time?
Well, I mean, I don't know how I charmed her. She charmed me, but I was always furious that she's not gonna like me. But I fell in love with her, and then here we are together. Like sometimes at a restaurant we get frustrated in each other, but I love working with her. And she is a wonderful lady and great mom. She takes care of the boys. And sometimes when I work so hard at the restaurant, and then I tell her, have you made some, because she makes like homemade spanakopita or like different filling, like a dough, like we call it burek. And she makes it, and I tell her all the time, I want this for dinner. She said, you're feeding the whole world. Why would you come and eat home? I said, like, I don't want to eat my food. I want to eat your food. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, every day is a blessing. I mean, the kids are going to the schools here. The older one plays football now. And like I said, life is too short just to be mad about it, man. We have to enjoy every single moment.
Give the show a like and a share on any of the 12 Facebook pages you're watching. If you have a comment you want to relay to Dino, put it in the chat box on any of the 12 Facebook pages, and I'll relay it to him on the program here. I want to know the love story, because you strike me as a charming guy. You speak 5 languages, you're charismatic, you're outgoing, you have a way with words, you have a natural smile. How did you guys meet?
Well, I met her in Germany, and then she was here, and I begged her to come to visit Germany, and not to come and live in Germany, because even though I wanted to move to America, it was kind of hard. So I moved here in 2003. Tomorrow will be my anniversary day that I landed in Dallas, Texas.
So tomorrow, 16 years in America.
Correct.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I spoke some English, but it wasn't like, like just like words of whatever you hear in the movies, the greeting words, whatever learned in primary school. But in the meantime,
Your English is phenomenal.
Well, thank you. I mean, 16 years now. And during the time that I lived here working with Hispanics, I have picked to learn
¿Hablas
Spanish
español?
too. Yeah,
Un
sí,
poco?
hablo español muy bueno.
Oh, nice, Dino. Que bueno, chico.
Sí.
Okay. So you charm your wife. You meet her.
Yes.
You meet her in Germany.
Correct.
And then she moves in 1999.
She came here in 1999 from the war camps in Macedonia. She was a refugee, and then the International Rescue Committee, her and 4 sisters, and her mom and dad came to America. They came to Charlottesville.
Wow.
IRC found a apartment for them to live in.
Okay.
They supported them for 6 months.
Okay.
And the community was so grateful here, bringing them like always food, and then try to integrate them, found them jobs, and then bring folks, whoever is listening, no matter where you come from, this country is the greatest country and always will be the greatest country. This is a country I call home, and I will do anything for this country.
God, I got freaking goosebumps from that.
And I mean it from the deep of my heart. I'm not just saying it.
Oh, I can 100% tell. I mean, I literally have goosebumps on me from what you just said. Gio says this, and you're going to love this. This man, Dino, impresses the hell out of me. He was working 3 jobs to support his family when I met him for the first time. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. Well, at Far Downers, I was working at Far Downers and working.
Far Downers in Crozet, guys.
Far Downers in Crozet, and in the meantime, I was working at Whole Foods. So I was working from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Whole Foods. And then I will go home for like 2 to 5, take 3 hours sleep, and then go to work at Fire Downers from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. next day.
Shit.
And then go again from 2 to 3, sleep 2 hours, and go. That's what my wife was pregnant with the second child, that she was not feeling well, she couldn't work, to meet our ends meet and not degrade on our lifestyle we were having because we just had bought the house and everything. So I stepped in and I covered all of that in order to I felt like something is being taken away from me. So with the hard work, I thought I can reach, because I don't have any higher education to earn higher, like for the time consumption to earn more money, but I just found a way
to grind.
Exactly.
That's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
No, seriously. Talk to me about those hours. Was there any time when you're grinding? I mean, how many hours of that is a week?
It was about 83 hours a week.
This dude was working 83 hours a week while his wife was pregnant with their second child.
Yep.
To make ends meet, to cover the mortgage, to live the dream, to pay the bills, to make sure their kids are fed.
Yep.
83 hours a week. Did you ever get down on yourself?
by working with people that were very supportive, and so like surrounding myself with very positive energy people and very very kind. I made it feel like it's a hobby. I'm not working.
That's so
And I had the
awesome.
mindset, like, if I have the mindset, like, see, this is how I see it. If I go in the morning and say, like, oh my God, when is going to be the end that I'm going to finish this shift? That I don't go with that feel of. I go like, what I'm going to do this time to take it to the better level.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
What goes through your mind then? Here's a tough question for you. What goes through your mind when you see people in Charlottesville, in America, healthy people, panhandling, asking for money around town? When you literally were working 83 hours a week when your wife was pregnant with her second kid, all you were thinking was, I'm going to go to this shift and I'm going to be the best version of myself during this shift.
When I see these people, I think they're begging for more help than money. That's how I see it. They should be more...
What do you mean by that?
Because they might be like having some... either like some mental illness or something must have happened in their life. I don't think anybody wants to be there. They need huge support community, and the community has to support, and I will be more than happy if anybody who supports these people, they stand there to change their life forever, because they shouldn't live. I don't think anybody, but they haven't seen anything better, and then they just got like in the circle there, and they have lost their way. They don't know how to get back in their feet. And you can probably go and ask. I'm not going to judge them at all, because most of them are ex-vets that have protected this country probably, and then they just have something that happened in their past, and that it just got like in a hamster wheel, just circling in there, and they don't want. I'm pretty sure they do want to live better, but they haven't found a way how to do it.
That was a great answer. You handled that so well right there. Talk to us about the progression you've made in Charlottesville restaurants. You got here in 2003. Where did you start?
My first job was for the Maharaja Indian restaurant. I was...
Is that Seminole Square Shopping Center?
Yep.
Okay.
I never even tasted Indian food before. I got started as a dishwasher. In 3 months, I started cooking in the tandoori, making... And then I had people from Mumbai, India, saying like, we have tried naan bread in Mumbai, but your naan bread is better than in the ones in India we tasted. Because I kind of like know the dough when I feel when I work with the dough.
Laura Fonner, the executive chef and soon-to-be owner of Dooner's Restaurant, is watching right now. I absolutely love this guy, Jerry.
I love Laura. She's an amazing. I had an interview years ago, and she, like, somebody else had taken the position. I wanted to work for her at Dooners.
You had an interview at Dooners. Did you hear that, Laura? She's watching right now. Tell the story.
She didn't hire me. I'm mad at you. No, I'm just joking.
She interviewed you?
Yeah, she interviewed me, and then somebody else who had a more open schedule had gotten the position. But she's one of the toughest chefs in Charlottesville. She's amazing, and she's a great lady, and I used to meet her at Gold's Gym sometimes at Far Downers as well. She's an amazing person.
I love that. God, you have a good memory. Let me throw this question to you. What was it like when you have restaurant experience, okay, bakery experience? What was it like to go and work at the dish pit at Maharaja, your first job?
Well,
she remembers this interview. She just said, I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember the interview.
So... You know, you go with the flow. You take what you have. I just arrived in America 2 months after that. I was a smoker back then. I don't expect anybody to smoke. I hate smoking now. But I didn't want my wife to buy me cigarettes, and I didn't drive. So I would live up the street there, and we went and asked if they need help. So I worked for Maharaja washing dishes, and then in a year and a half, 2 years, I went to College Inn. And I worked at the College Inn for 3 years, 83 to 90 hours a week.
83 to 90 hours a week?
Yeah. So since I came here, I never worked less than 75 hours a week.
Dude, you are a rock star. I work every day. You have to as a business owner.
Yes.
Right? And when you make your passion your profession,
correct,
like we have,
yes,
it's different than other folks that aren't working
absolutely,
their passion. Because we love what we do.
Yes.
We're owners.
Yes, sir.
We have more skin in the game.
Yeah. It's nothing better than writing yourself a check and open the door that you don't have to report anybody but upper being that you believe on and yourself. If you blame yourself. There is nobody to stop you. Your next move, what are you going to do next?
Fucking love that. Dap it up, baby. God, I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. Where I was going with this, I'm working 70 hours a week. You're doing 83 to 90?
Yep.
The family, you must be doing the family time at restaurant.
Yeah, family time. I go and kick ball sometimes with a little one, Leon, and then
Who are
he
your
says-
boys' names? Leon?
Leon,
Okay.
Aaron and Leon. Yeah,
Okay.
Leon is 7. He's been in the restaurant now for 2 years. There are days that he hangs out with us when we have shorthand, like probably for like 7 or 8 hours. Stays at the back, plays his games, and then sometimes he gets tired. But one day it's going to pay off for him. He's
Yeah.
going to remember this. Because not every child, I tell him, like, not every parent can take their child to work. So you're lucky you're with us at work.
My parents, my mom, a Cuban, born in Cuba, she married my dad, un gringo. Okay, he was American.
All right.
He's a CPA.
All right.
And they met at a bank in Florida. So my dad worked at a CPA firm called Arthur Anderson. It's now defunct. And he would go up and down the eastern seaboard auditing banks. And my mom, she, because of Mima and Papi, refugees from Cuba, was able to get a 2-year community college degree. And she parlayed that 2-year community college degree to be the manager of the bank tellers at a bank in Florida, Naples, Florida. My dad goes and audits her bank. Within 3 weeks of them meeting, 3 weeks, my dad proposed to her.
Wow.
They had kissed one time. They had gone on 3 dates. All 3 of those dates were chaperoned. After they got engaged and eventually married, they started a CPA practice where my mom, this outgoing and bubbly person, met with the clients up front, and my dad, who's more introverted but very smart, did the CPA and accounting work. Where I'm going with this, my brother and I, we literally grew up in their office in what was the copier room when they're back in the 80s, you needed an entire room for a copier because they were so big.
It's big, yeah.
So we grew up in the business. And you know what, dude? My brother and I have so much like appreciation for hard work and for family business and for grinding and for getting after it because we saw my parents like live and breathe it firsthand. Throw that to you and how it applies to your boys or how it could apply to your boys as they get older.
Well, they already say like, Dad, you're never going to sell the brick oven. We're going to keep the brick oven forever in the family. And especially the little one, he said, I will, like, once you're going to get a little older, I will work in the brick oven and I'm going to drive you. And we talk all the time about it. But every time I tell my kids, be kind, treat everybody with respect and dignity. I'm not when I see like stories about in Syria or other places, like when there's like turmoil in the world now, and we are in the 21st century, and when I look at my boys and I see like their peers are not having that kind of life, maybe sometimes I get sadness in me, but I mean, I just want to tell them how lucky they are. Living here, safe, don't have to worry about anything. And then when I see all this like pictures or footage of shown in like children in Syria or like Rohingya refugees in Myanmar or any other countries, it just breaks my heart. We are in the 21st century. We are advanced so much, but we are so cruel, and sometimes I just can't believe why, as human nature, we have that hate. So how can we just eliminate that out of our minds so everybody can live in their own way?
I love what you just said. It's the golden rule.
Yeah.
Why don't we? This is a deep question. We don't happen to have an answer
Yeah.
for this. I'll throw it back to you for the sake of a talk show. Why do you think it is? Why isn't men and women treating other men and women like they want to be treated themselves?
I think it's just we are evolving more, but I think with having that huge empathy for others and being taught from a small age, that's what it can, like, they look at the Nordic countries, how well they're advanced in their happiness in their population, because they are taught from the beginning on that's how life is. We live only once. Nobody has come back from the other side to say how it is. And in a religion or culture, nobody has come back and said that how it is. Let's live every moment we want to live it. Just be happy.
God, Judah, you hear this? This is amazing. You're crushing this effing interview right now. Oh my gosh, dude. Let me throw the dream to be a business owner in America. When you're working the dish pit at Maharaja in 2003, were you like, this is a step in the direction of being a business owner?
Yes. Well, by when I started working and then handling all the food value at Whole Foods and how great a company Whole Foods was on that time, I don't work there anymore, so I don't know how it is now, and I'm pretty sure they're still great. I have great friends there and great network. The reason of being an entrepreneur is in my blood. I always like go for things that I want. And I risk. So by risking, you don't have to be of like I listen to all the time stories like when they say like once you fail once, luckily in the first business I haven't failed, and then we are growing, and we are prospering and everything. But by just be who you are, I tell everybody, you have something on your mind and your plan, just be who you are. And my goal is not about enriching myself monetary-wise. I want to enrich my life and see how much I can reach on my lifetime to succeed, how much of the success I will have. I think life is a journey. You just have to see how far you can go.
Oh my God, you are so good at this. I totally respect that. And where I'm going with this is I started this business 11 years ago in 2008 during the recession out of a condo that I owned when I bought it when I was 24 or 25. Put my life savings into the company. First 6 months, it was an advertising agency, still is. First 6 months, no clients. 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo. I had to invite 2 of my best buddies, Shannon and Tom, into the condo to rent the other 2 rooms. And I rented to them below market. And the reason I did that is to help them, but also so I could pay my mortgage. Because if I didn't invite them into the condo, I would have lost my place because I took my life savings and put it into this business. But I knew that if I did something that I believed in, that fit my skill set, and I did not worry about money, but I worried about being the best version of myself as a business owner, that I would have success one day. And today we have, I'm going to say, the best ad agency in Charlottesville, own a downtown building, and we're doing well. I'm going to throw it back to you about being the best version of yourself as a business owner, not focusing on the money, but focusing on the best version of yourself.
I think that energy you spread, that's whatever you offer out there, that's what you get. When the customers walk in the restaurant and they see that, I tell all my staff and myself and everybody, it's like, if you're here all day, you're here to make your earning, right? And do your freaking best. Spread that love to people, connect with them, let them make you feel comfortable. When people feel comfortable around their food, yes, they come, they're hungry. But I tell everybody, I said, then don't let them remind themselves just about our pizza, which is, I can tell you one thing, any pizza place in town, I'm open to throw down. They can come and bring it on. Bring it on all the pizza places. I'm open for it.
I love it.
I'm not naming anybody. I stand behind my product. I stand behind myself. For any good cause, anybody wants to do it. If Jerry Miller, like I Love CVille Show, wants to organize it, let's do it.
Judah, go to studio camera and bring the pizzas on set. I want to show these amazing pizzas. Put it on studio camera. Just walk on set, bring all the food here, and let's show what the brick oven's about. You're going to love this. This is from Adrienne Eichner.
Yeah, she has Enter Studio. She has done my first photograph. That's what I did. The first day I took over, I have a very advanced, I can know how to use advanced technology, but I said, like, I'm not going to take a single picture of myself to put on my social media. I'm not going to manage my social media. I'm not going to do anything on marketing myself. I will find professionals who deal every day with that. And Adrienne is a great photographer.
She says he's a great guy and such a hard worker. My favorite about his restaurant, the big brick oven, the high quality ingredients, the great salad bar, cares for his customers, has great conversations with them, and best of all, he loves, loves, loves his food. You're seeing some of the food that's coming on set right now. Judah's bringing it on set. I'm going to bring it on. You know what? I'm just going to put this over here. I mean, this is absolutely amazing, the food that he has. The brick oven, guys, the brick oven. So you will put up this pizza, this pasta against anybody in town. Talk to me about that.
I will put this pizza and this pasta against anybody in town. Our dough is so simple. We don't put anything. We shred our own cheese. We make our freshly daily dough. Our dough has only 3 ingredients. It has a little bit of sugar to give the color, very tiny sugar. It has fresh yeast, flour, and water and salt. That's it. We don't put anything else in there. And the brick oven is marinated for 30 years. These stones, my friend, underneath have a lot of flavor built up in there.
You're the third owner of the brick oven?
I am the third owner of the brick oven.
Talk to me about that evolution of the brick oven.
Yeah, brick oven started, I believe, in 1991 or 92. It was Steedman's family that owned it, and they were a great family. And they sold it to Tony Farrow in 2011 or 12, I believe. Tony had it for 7 years, and Tony Farrow I was begging him to buy the restaurant, and he made it possible. Even though, like you, I drained all my 401k, all my savings, all my financing. I got even a little bit more debt, and then get all of that, and then I couldn't come with all of the money to give him. He financed it to me 30%, and he signed in the lease for me for 5 years because he believed in me, and he financed 30% with no interest.
I love that story. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the nitty-gritty here. To buy the brick oven,
I had a vision of the brick
you took
oven.
all your savings.
I took all my savings.
You drained the 401k. You had the penalties for taking the cash out of the 401k early from a tax standpoint.
Yes.
You did a seller finance deal with the seller.
And I refinanced my house that I was 4 years.
You took a second mortgage on your home.
Yes.
God, I'm getting up, dude. Go to studio camp.
Yeah.
I'm giving you some fucking props, baby. I have so much respect for
No,
this.
I refinanced my house. I took $90,000 out of my house. I was on a 15 years term. I was paying 2.9% mortgage, and I took a mortgage of 1.5% more in 30 years.
So you went to 4.4 on a 30.
Yeah, out of the 2.9, I went to 4.4.
Fuck.
And because I wanted to have the restaurant, I believed in that restaurant, and then we changed the concept. We built the brand, redefined the recipes. Change all the dishes.
You optimized everything.
Yeah. In 4 days, we had 4 days. I told my construction guys that were helping me. And most of them work for UVA on the maintenance. And then electricians and plumbers and painters and everything. And then I told them that we have 4 days. January 1st, it was like December 31st to January 3rd, we had to come down with all the ceiling tiles, all electric wiring, everything, all the tables and flooring and everything. So in 4 days, I was there 16, 17 hours a day, making pizzas. The oven was still open, making pizzas for them. And then we reopened in 4 days under the new ownership.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
When you said to your wife you were going to buy this restaurant, you're going to leverage everything that you had. You're going to take your 401k, take it to zero.
I emptied her 401k too.
You emptied your wife. God, you have an amazing wife.
Yes. She believed behind me. She was anxious, but I said, you know what? Without risking this much, what is the point? Just to live paycheck to paycheck. And I admire everybody who lives paycheck to paycheck.
Right. You're not knocking them.
No.
Yeah.
But stand up for yourself. If I could do it and have the guts and courage to do it, I believe everybody can do it.
Robert Bailey says the brick oven has the best marinara in town. Laurel Wolf McClurkin, Dino has been so good to our family. Jacob Conley, Dino is the absolute man. Robert Bailey, hope all is well. Wanted to say your restaurant is absolutely amazing, brother. There's 30 other people that unfortunately I do not know how to say their name that are giving you props.
They're watching from all over Europe, probably. That's why they cannot pronounce the names.
Shows how naive I am.
No,
they are giving you props right now. They are giving you props right now. Here's a very good question. This is from Kevin. What is it when you see the Statue of Liberty or the American flag? What do you feel?
Prideness.
You feel pride?
Yes.
Talk to me.
When you see the Statue of Liberty and you see American flag every day that I have in my house and my business, besides God that I believe in, that's the second thing that I believe after.
Dude, you're making me cry here.
That flag is the most symbolized, it's iconic to the world. And I'd say this, I'm not a politician. I am not trying to politicize this show or anything. But let's take it back to centuries before America took over the world and take it to the next level. Has ever the world been more prosperous than now? Has never been. Any other superpower before has mishandled it for their use and everything. This country has liberated the world from itself, liberated Europe from itself, liberated Japan from itself and all the other places, and is spreading democracy and spreading love all over the globe. It's American people, the taxpayers of this country, who are doing that.
If you're watching this program and you don't feel emotional right now, then you have the emotions of a stone. This guy has got me in tears right now. I have so much respect for you. We have people watching in New York. I have 9 states watching this program, 13 different countries watching this program right now. Oh my God. I have so much respect for you. You took everything and you bet it on yourself to win, and you're doing it.
Well, it's just the beginning. And people like you and me, that's what makes it great here. Because being on your show here, and you're like a missionary, taking the next level of my business. And it's not only about business. It's about being an entrepreneur. Mr. Crutchfield comes and dines and sometimes in my
Bill
restaurant.
Crutchfield.
Yeah, Bill Crutchfield's a great person. He comes and gets his onion pizza, always in the run, great person. Every time I love to talk 2 words to switch with him. That's the people I can learn from. I'm like a sponge. From people that are business entrepreneurs, I try to observe everything from them. And I always ask him questions, and he's so kind and friendly. Him and his wife come and dine in sometimes. And many, many other people that are very well entrepreneurs and then business people around here. Just having a great heart and believe in yourself, believe what you do, and do it. Go in 1,000,000% what you do. Do your best.
Robert Bailey says, you are the American dream.
Robert Bailey is my ex-coworker. He comes with his wife. He has a great son, and they love the lasagna. His wife loves the marinara sauce.
You have an amazing memory.
It's a curse sometimes because I think I have too much, and I don't want to develop Alzheimer's when I get old.
You are like off the charts brilliant with your memory. I mean, is it a photographic memory?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. When did you start realizing you had this gift?
Since childhood, when I remember stuff that my mom or somebody, like when I remember stuff, like sometimes predicting things, also like how it can like lay out and happen or stuff like that. So I kind of like, I don't know, it's a gift to me. I didn't seek it. I didn't do anything about it.
Jay Wyatt in Keswick in Troy, Virginia, just had an amazing fundraiser party. It says he would love to do the pizza challenge on his 133 acres.
We can love.
He's got a brick oven that he has built on his farm. He's got 2 music venue stages. He had a band called Yarn play his event on Saturday that played the Jimmy Fallon show.
Okay.
And he did it to raise money for charity. And he is one of the best people. And he said, you're welcome anytime out there for a pizza challenge on his brick oven.
Tell Mr. Jim.
Jay Wyatt.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jay, find other challengers or just between me and you. I will have to have more of them in town. Just make it fun. Have it fun. I'm not here to win a prize or everything. I just want to make things like to take it to the next level. Let's do for some very nice local charity. And we can do it probably for Bennetts Village, for all Ability Park to play, or anybody there will want to like.
Bennetts Village has reached out to us, and I need to get them on the show. They sent me an email. I owe them a response.
They're a great
here.
family. I have the 2nd annual fundraising this year.
Talk to us about Bennetts Village.
Bennetts Village. Bennetts. I don't want to. I don't want to mistakenly say what the diagnosis was of Bennett. Bennett was having some spinal issues, I think, and I cannot know the diagnosis exactly what it was. It wasn't developing right, so they used to come and dine at the restaurant all the time. Unfortunately, last spring, Bennett passed away from flu. He had flu, and then he has passed away. And his parents came up with the idea of building, because they used to take Bennett to Richmond. There is an all-ability park to play in Richmond. So he used to love the park there, and they used to take him there all the time. So to honor him, they decided to create a fundraiser with backing of Arc of Piedmont as their mother company to have, because setting up nonprofit is also challenging sometimes. Sure. So the first thing they told me about it, I said I would like to have Bennett's grandparents come at least once a week there. Bennett's mom and dad, they come there also all the time. And then we decided to do a fundraising. We raised $900 between food and the T-shirt and donation people brought from 4 p.m. to 9 a.m. From 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
That's
we raised
amazing.
$900.
$900 in 5 hours.
Yes, and then this year I'm hoping to double that.
That's amazing.
And I'm going to do it every year, even after the park gets built. They're asking, the city has given the permission. It's going to be the park is going to be built at the Penn Park. And the land has been given away from the city. The permission is there, but the funding has to come from the Bennett's Village and the supporting other businesses. So I'm not aware of how much they have raised so far, but I know that approximately it's going to be like $5 million that has to be there.
You know what? I want to take it a step further. They have reached out to me. You tell them when you see them, anything that the I Love CVille Show or my businesses can do to drive awareness in conjunction with the brick oven. You lead the charge. I'll be there to support.
I love that.
Anything we can
You're
do
the man.
to drive people to your restaurant during the fundraiser for Bennett's Village.
I can't wait to tell them when I see them next time. They might be coming dining this week, probably. And I just can't wait to tell them. I'm going to email them too, probably, before I get out of here.
We will do that. Michael
Yes.
Guthrie, Dino is a great supporter of Fairview Swim Club as well.
Yes, I supported Fairview for 2 years. We had a banner there. Fairview families are a great supporter of mine.
Why support Charlottesville like you're supporting it so much? You support it to the point where folks are coming in off the streets and asking for support. They may not necessarily come in as often as you would like, yet you still support them. What is it about this community you love so much?
Well, giving back has always been my dream. That's what brings me happiness. All those gift cards, I give them to the nonprofits or the charity or like churches and everything. I have groups of churches coming all the way from like Nelson County probably, or like there was Alzheimer's Association meeting at Doubletree Hotel, and then the lady came and approached me. I said, "Can you donate something because we have a fundraising for Alzheimer's awareness?" And I said, "You know what? My grandma had Alzheimer's," and I said, like, I donated $150, and these people came all the way. I don't remember the town where it was, but they brought me a certificate, appreciation, in frames, and appreciating me for giving them. It's not about the $150. It's not about $5 or what. It's not the monetary amount. It's the will that you have behind it.
That's amazing. This town is so supportive of local. And I think and you already have an established reputation, an established brand. For the folks that have not been to the restaurant that are watching you on this platform, 12 Facebook pages, over 7,000 people on the feed. They're going to flood your restaurant here.
I can't wait to meet each and every one of them. We have great catering venue. We welcome kids for their birthday parties. When it's not very crowded, we let kids make their own pizza. They come around side and make their own pizza. And when a child comes and then 6 or 7-year-old and then puts cheese pizza and then say, "Hey, I'm making my pizza in the brick oven," my heart becomes as big as the Blue Ridge Mountains.
That was so good, Dino. Brian Radisky says Dino is the man.
Brad Radisky is the man too. He has to come and visit me at the restaurant.
Give it a like and a share on any of the streams. Talk to me about being a restaurateur in a competitive market like Charlottesville. Because it's competitive.
As you know, I am not sure 100%, but I think per capita, Charlottesville is the second largest
That's correct.
restaurant.
Per capita,
Yes.
guys, per capita, per population,
Yes.
Charlottesville has the second most restaurants per capita in the entire country.
And I know and I feel each and every one. See, we all are in the business. Nobody's in business to fail. And when I heard that small businesses go out of business, it breaks my heart. And I want to connect with them. I want to, if I could share the peace of mind, but I can tell you one thing. As a small business, if you're not running yourself and you're not shedding your tears there yourself and your sweat, it's hard to make it. Because the margin in the food industry is getting tougher and tougher every day, and the big sharks are stepping in and taking everything.
Put in perspective for people that don't know restaurants, the economics behind a restaurant model, like the margin.
The margin average is, after everything, the highest margin in the independent restaurant, and I can tell everybody, is between 5 to 7%.
Think about that, guys. So if you do $1 million in sales, your profit margin is $50,000 to $70,000.
Yes, if you don't work yourself and then put the hours yourself and everything. The profit margin comparing to the national average is between 5 to 7% for the ownership that they can.
How do you take it to another level, that margin?
The margin that you take it to another level, just like controlling your
food cost.
The food cost.
Yeah.
You cannot control the rent. You cannot control the labor. You can control by contributing more yourself. The food cost, the waste. And then also increase your sales. By increasing your sales, the volume increases. With the volume increase, the profit too. But it's not going to increase your profitability when it comes to shares, because the food cost is tremendous.
John Plecker, Rocket Dino, longtime friend, great guy. Dino is the man.
I used to work with John at Whole Foods. I don't know where he works now. He's a great person.
Your page right now has over 54 people who have liked your page alone right now. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the streams you're watching. Andrew Autry from Ace Biscuit and Barbecue, who helped set this interview up, says Dino is the man.
Andrew is a man too. He loves our wings. He loves my pasta dishes. And Andrew, always he comes and throws out. He has always his twist, and I listen to him all the time. When I change my next menu, he's going to step in board and we're going to work together.
Talk to me about the 3 and 5 year goals for what you want to do.
Well, I've been 2 years now in this location. My goal is to have 90% the second location of Brick Oven, a different concept, building from ground up to a different way. And I just love cooking with wood. It's nothing than tasting. People ask me, like, what does it make your pizza different? I said, like, well, we don't put holy water in it. It's no different. The cheese comes from the cow just like the other cheese. It's just like the way you make the dough and when you put the dough in the oven, how long you let it rise, all of this has to play. I mean, they say like cooking is art, but baking is science. So you have the weather has to play concept always, like how much hot water, cold water. Every day you have to change that. And you go up by measuring the temperature of the water, how the dough is going to look like, and all that stuff. So to be consistent on dough is very, very hard.
William Cooper, the executive chef and owner of 106 Street Food, watching the program. Tyler Berry, the chef and owner of Catch the Chef, watching right now. 9 different chefs watching Dino on the I Love CVille show. Let's welcome Bill Hamrick to the program. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the streams that you're watching. Any concerns about come spring 2020? Should you open a second restaurant? Any concerns about expanding too quickly? There is only one Dino. You can't clone yourself.
That's the problem. Like by building the brand around me.
Because you are the brand.
Yes,
you're like the Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees.
Correct. So by building the brand around me is just like, you have 3 Bodos location. I'm not marketing that. 3 Bodos location, and the concept is so great. I mean, this town has more room to grow, but Brick Oven, where I am now, is kind of outskirt in that strip mall, and I want to be bigger. I only can fit 54 people in there. Like I told you earlier, I can call any pizza place in town. Anybody who wants to have throw down for a good cause. The gentleman in Keswick has a Brick Oven. Even if you don't have Brick Oven in your restaurant, bring your dough, bring your best people, let's do it. I'm open to it.
Jay Wyatt, I think we got a charity event waiting to happen here. We have 3 to 4 pizza brands come out to your farm. We get some bands. We do maybe $20 ticket to arrive. We donate the money to charity. We have this chef and 4 or 5 other chefs do a pizza throwdown challenge, Jay Wyatt, at your farm. Think about that idea. Kevin Higgins, you're just getting started in many ways. Your determination will take you far. I bet I get a slice of your pizza in another state one day. He's saying you're going to expand to another state.
Well, let's take it probably a decade from now. I'd like to take very concrete and say, I've been through a lot in my life, and then I know how to kind of move slower. I don't want to jumpstart a lot because sometimes it's just going too fast. It's not very, have taken concrete steps and slow. That's how you reach. Sometimes the turtles are faster than the rabbits.
That's true. More successful.
Yes.
Certainly. Let me throw this to you here. And we're 65 minutes in, and you've crushed this interview.
Thank you. You made it possible, though.
Thank you. I struggle with this all the time, okay? In 11 years, this business is 11 years old, was 11 years old on May 31st of this year. 11 years old. In 11 years, I've taken one vacation. It was the honeymoon that I took with my wife. We came back pregnant from our honeymoon. That opened up another Pandora's box of work, as you know, as a father. Okay? Now we're blessed with a fabulous baby boy that's changed my life and my perspective so many different ways. I struggle with this work-life balance. I always tell people I have 2 children. I have this 11-year-old business and an 18-month-old son. And the 11-year-old business is, in a lot of ways, very similar to my son. Needs to be matured and nurtured and taken care of, needs to be fed revenue, needs to be given a vision and shown the way, just like I do with my son. I struggle with the work-life balance because I know what happens in this building determines the future of my family and my son.
Absolutely.
But what happens in this building keeps me away from my son. Throw that to you.
I tell everybody that I have a restaurant that owes me. I never say that I owe a restaurant. So like you said, if you have a restaurant that owes you, it's like you have to be there from early morning to late night and do from A to Z yourself and then just caring and nourishing. And I feel like that the business itself kind of I have the connection energy talks to me. Hey, you take care of me, I'll take care of you. And that's how it goes. And I miss the time with my kids, I know, but I see them more often than when I was working for others. Then I couldn't get my kids to come at Whole Foods. They could come in the shopping area, but not in my kids can come in the back of the restaurant now, and they can hang out with me for a couple hours, and then we can go. And I haven't taken a day off for 2 years.
Jesus.
I took 6 days off to visit my family in August 15th to like August 21st, and I visited 3 countries. I was more flying and traveling than staying, but it was 3 years that I haven't seen my mom and my siblings. So they mean the world to me too. And
would they ever move here?
Not
Do you want
really.
them to?
I wanted them all to move here, but they love where they are now, and they don't know my mom is 70, and probably she will come and visit. But one of my brothers was here. He's a lawyer. They are like very well off where they are now, and we just like getting together, and then we are a large family, patriotic family. Like like being very large family. Sometimes having a lot of siblings can have like the struggles, but it being like supportive for each other.
Yeah, like all families.
Yeah, and then all my siblings have their own businesses.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Corbin Snow, the president of Snow's Garden Center in Snow Nose, watching now. Mary Blake, the Hall of Fame lacrosse coach from St. Anne's Belfield, watching the program. Give it a like and a share on any of the streams you're watching. We'll spend a couple more minutes here with Dino. Met says, wow, great talk. I didn't know that you could do all this stuff. Bazia Mamo, am I saying that right? Awesome job, Dino. You deserve that. You have a celebrity in our small family. Now we have a celebrity in our small family. She's talking about you. Hope to see you and your family very soon. Throw a few more questions to you. And I want to close on the significance of what, again, America means to you. And we'll do that in a matter of moments. Before we do, August 11th and 12th, 2017. 2 years ago here on the Downtown Mall, I was right out front of this building, the Macklin Building on Market Street, for 2 reasons. I wanted to relay to my son, who was in my wife's belly at the time, what happened, because I knew when he got to history class, he would be studying about August 12, 2017 in history class. I also was concerned about the building, and I was concerned about Charlottesville. 8/12, 2017.
8/12, 2017, I opened the brick oven door, and I have one girl that still helps me there, Latoya. She is mixed race. Her dad is black and her mom is white. And then for the first time, and I had my son Aaron there, for the first time I felt back, like PTSD feeling of back home for the first time. And I mean it, for the first time ever, I felt that something fishy and sketchy is happening in Charlottesville and in America. I could never, ever believe that something like that could happen. And then the parking lot is huge in our shopping center. There were a bunch of guys hanging out down from like IHOP restaurant, and there were a bunch of cars of police. And then the girl who worked there, she said, I'm afraid to work today. What if somebody came through the door? I said, you know what, Latoya? Before they get to you, they have to come through me first. And I felt I had to stand up behind her and then try to support. And I told my son, like, there is nothing going to happen. You don't have to worry about it. I called my wife and said, come and get him. And when I saw helicopters flying around here and everything, that was the worst day since I left. And I didn't live through the war zone in Kosovo. And I can tell you, like, this country is bigger than that. And this country is bigger than any person. And it's gonna move forward forever. With people, like, being open and being supportive, and the communities around this country, it's a melting pot of everything. There is nowhere else in the world. There is a lot of people, you know, when they say they hate America, everybody wants to be like America, but they cannot be, that's why they hate it. And whoever hates America, they are haters, they hate themselves. And whoever hates, I think that comes from fear and it creates hate. People who have anxiety and fear, I don't think they want to act that way, but I think mental illness is taking things to a different level. People don't want to be like that, but they don't know how to act better.
God, that's a good answer. Last question. You've touched on this already. Man, you got me like in tears. America for you.
This is the country I call home. That's where I settled. I was like a nomad from one country to another. I attempted 2 times to go to Britain to pursue my education. I wanted to have higher education. You know what my highest education is?
What's
I have eighth class. I finished only my 8th class.
8th grade?
8th grade. I don't have a high school diploma. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a diploma. You can be the best driver in the world, probably, but with no like having a license, you're still gonna get a ticket. And that's how I feel myself. I can be entrepreneur and everything, but the opportunity that I got here and the support I get here, it will never, ever be possible anywhere else in the world. Never. And I can have the challenge with anybody who can challenge my mindset that this is a land of true beliefs and your dream becomes true. It's not, and when I hear stories like American dream is dead or anything like that, American dream is never dead. It will never be dead. This country is bigger than any party, is bigger than any organization, is bigger than anything. It's as big as the universe.
That was amazing. You killed
Thank
today's
you.
interview.
Thank you.
You did, I mean, so good, like so inspiring. Like I honestly, I did not even expect it would be this awesome.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I mean this as sincerely as anything I've ever said. I think this is one of the best interviews we've done. I find you like so inspiring. And I want to just have you in like my ecosystem in any capacity possible. Like your energy, your positivity,
Thank you.
your perspective, your like courage, your willingness to take risk, your family, like anything.
There are days that I lose sleep. There are days that I worry that what if the rent comes and I have to pay. There are days that I worried about mortgage. There are days that I say like, what if I fail? I do have anxiety every day, but that's what keeps me going. I mean, being over anxious is not something that we only want to have, but that's how our brains work. And I tell everybody, it's like, if it comes to the point that I will serve only 5 people and I want to have the labor, I will do it all myself, the cooking, the serving, and everything. And then I will decide when Brick Oven is going to go out of business, not the Brick Oven when it's going out of business.
Amazing. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is a long waiting time, and I am so glad to meet you, and I mean it from deep in my heart, that what you have done and like spreading the voice of people like me to the social media and all the channels you reach out, and just to tell people what other businessmen or small entrepreneurs, they don't have the budget to spread the word and the different perspectives of marketing. And people like you can help do that. It's just an amazing thing.
Well, it was undoubtedly our pleasure to have you on the show. You made us better today, and it's not often that I'm getting emotional on this program, but it's because of you. I am so impressed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For coming on the program.
Thank you.
Oh my God, what a show. This dude is amazing. We will archive this show on ilovecville.com, and I encourage anyone that's watching this program to watch it from start to finish. And if you don't get emotional or moved or motivated or inspired from this, then I don't know what's going to inspire you. We'll take today's show and we'll syndicate it for 30 days across the I Love CVille network, which is 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, a daily e-newsletter that goes out to 108,000 plus inboxes every morning at 11 a.m. We'll take the audio and turn it into an iTunes podcast, and we'll take the video and audio and put it on ilovecville.com so you can watch it in perpetuity. I close the program the same way, and it's by asking everybody to embody the golden rule. Dino touched on it himself. Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, and the country need the golden rule more than ever. It's about treating your fellow man and women the same way you want to be treated yourself. Seems like a straightforward concept, but for some reasons it's lost on a lot of folks. And I just want to put it back in the ecosystem, the golden rule. This is the I Love CVille Show. We do this program Monday through Friday, 12:30 to 1:30, where we feature fabulous people like Dino. It's a small aspect of what we do at this business, but it's undoubtedly my favorite aspect. Enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you, man.
Killed it.
Thank you. Seriously, I appreciate you, all right?
Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you.
You're inspiring.
Thank you. Well,
Seriously.
I mean, everything comes from inside,
I can
natural.
tell.
That's
I
how
can
it
tell.
comes. And everything, if it's everything true, then the truth always comes in the best way. It's not like pre-projected. That's what I love in life. It's not like pre-screened and pre-fabricated or like reading through it. That's authentic as possible.
It was obvious.
Thank you.
It was contagious and it was obvious.
Thank you so much.
We got one more thing to do.